Okay, well, we'll move on. Let's get to the WWE, the horror show at Extreme Rules. You guys already said that, well, and I would definitely concur that Slammiversary was the better pay per view of the weekend. We don't even have to go match by match when it comes to the WWE. But major thing coming out of there, the thing that got the WWE the most headlines was now the only thing that Rey Mysterio can see is John Cena. He lost his eye in the match against Seth Rollins. What do you guys think of the eye for an eye match?
All right, so I kept rewinding it. I was like, what are they reacting to? Because it was very, very hard to even see anything. One, because it happened so fast, quote unquote. It wasn't until I actually saw somebody freeze frame it on the internet, and I was like, oh, okay. And then you can tell, obviously, it wasn't a real eye. But then they did a good job trying to still keep it PG and have somebody's quote unquote eyeball dangling out of their head. But I don't know. I just thought it was ridiculous. I didn't think it needed to be done. But now what do you do with Rey Mysterio? I guess if that's his last match, okay. But you didn't do anything with the son, so
Okay, I thought the match itself was pretty good. I think it could have just been an Extreme Rules match. I mean, the eye for an eye stipulation was dumb to begin with, and it really served no purpose. It didn't add to the tension of the match or anything. It was just I would have preferred just a straight up Extreme Rules hardcore match between the two guys beating the shit out of each other. Like I said, the match itself, like I didn't think I was going to enjoy the match, but as I'm watching, I'm like, outside of trying to take each other's eyes out, which is obviously just ridiculous. I mean, they came up with some creative stuff like Seth Rollins sticking up the kendo stick and trying to ram Rey Mysterio head first into it. I thought that was kind of creative. I mean, they made the match good. The wrestling, I think we said offline, we said the wrestling was pretty good. It's the booking that fucking sucked in this show.
Yeah, this match should have just been a hardcore match, or I guess they want to save the Extreme Rules gimmick for the Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre match later on in the show. But this could have been anything else that had no rules where they could use weapons, and Ray could have just been threatening in that match, I'm going to take your eye like you took my eye. Because it really didn't even make sense for him to even use the steps, because the steps is how he impaled his eye before. How do you use the steps to yank somebody's eyeball out? That made no sense.
right, because you think it will pushed it in, it doesn't make it pop out.
Again, poorly booked.
So, like you said, I thought the match started off good. I like that Ray didn't come out and do all his gimmick entrance and stuff. Came out, they started fighting. They were pretty much going at each other. Of course, they still did wrestling moves or whatever. It's a wrestling show. But overall, I pretty much enjoyed the match. And that was pretty much the gimmick. Oh, not the gimmick, but that was pretty much the whole. That's pretty much how you could describe this entire pay per view. Nothing was wrong with the matches. All the endings were shit.
Except for the tag team match. The ending was fucking awesome. Kofi going through those tables.
Oh, that was brutal. Why?
Yeah.
Why did you decide to take that bump in front of?
That was the most perfect table bump I've ever fucking seen.
Oh,
I'm going to side with Jim Cornette on this. That was very unnecessary and risky because it did look like his head bounced off the ground a little bit. I mean, granted, I know there's some padding there, but I mean, if anybody has been in a high school gym, you know that padding is granted it's softer than the ground, but it's still pretty stiff.
That's why I said it was probably the best table spot I've ever seen, was because when you stack two tables on top of each other, there's a lot that could go wrong. One
That's
could
true.
slide. I mean, he took it perfectly. He went through both of them. But yeah, it was very unnecessary, especially since there was no crowd to pop for it.
yeah.
You know, one thing I would say too, and this is a testament to just how great this person is as a wrestler. If anybody's going to put me through two tables, I'm going to trust to put me through two tables the right way. It's Cesaro.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, I don't know. He did knock out Jeff Hardy's tooth.
Shit, he knocked his own teeth out.
That dude wrestled a whole match with none of his front teeth.
Just jammed up in his gums. He had them. They were just jammed up where they weren't supposed to be. He didn't lose them. He held on to them. But yeah, that bump was ridiculous. I was doing my best to get Devin August to do that to you in you guys' match, but he said he was too nice of a guy.
We had the no-sell table.
I am the table.
Oh yeah, you want that Tru Element because Tru Element doesn't come to Legacy Pro shows anymore. But anyway,
I will be at the ICW show tonight if you guys are going to be there. So hit me up.
I thought you have other plans on Saturday nights nowadays.
Oh,
that's for another. That's for Slamcasters After Dark.
Oh yeah, that's for the Dark Chronicles. The Dark Knight Chronicles.
That's some bull. You're gonna go to the competition. But
they ain't competition to you. They don't even do the same kind of wrestling that y'all do.
If you get the COVID, I'm gonna laugh.
Oh, let's not talk about people getting the COVID. You want to talk about the COVID? You want to talk about the COVID? We talking about COVID?
But anyway, back to the horror show.
The horrible show.
We got new tag team champions, baby.
And they're not gonna hold on to them that long. They're transitional champions. You already know that.
Yeah, but who are they gonna possibly drop it to? Another ragtag mix?
So
well, at least they're an actual tag team. Fuck.
Yeah, so what else happened on the show? I thought the Bayley match was trash to me, which I'm just not a fan of Bayley. Even though I do like when she posts her pictures, Bayley got a little ratchet in her. It's kind of funny. She like shaved the back of her head and put two straps or whatever in there. I'm like,
Bayley those straps.
I'm like, Bayley, a little ratchet. She from LA or San Diego or wherever she's from. I'm like yeah, she's the hit the block. But
wait, which one did Bayley wrestle?
Nikki Cross.
Nikki Cross.
Okay. That match was okay. I was more offended by the Sasha Banks match.
The Sasha Banks match was awesome. Her and Asuka have great chemistry in the ring. For some reason, every time, well, I'm not even gonna say every time she wrestles Asuka. Every time Sasha Banks gets in the ring, she either almost kills herself or her opponent. When she slipped off that turnbuckle in this match, I was like, "Holy shit!"
You know what? That was rough, but you know what? Yeah, I'll chop it up as an accident. What I was offended by in that was the finish.
Well, that's what I was.
That match was awesome. That match was awesome until the finish.
Yeah, and then it got even worse on Monday Night Raw when Stephanie McMahon came out and chastised both Asuka and Sasha Banks, and then didn't just erase the fact that Bayley stuck her nose in the match, which I guess it kind of makes a little bit of sense though, because Asuka did try to cheat the win with the mist. I guess I hadn't thought about that, and then Bayley cheated to help Sasha win by sexually assaulting the referee. Let's call it what it is. You can't just take the clothes off of an unconscious man.
Well, then, if they were going to go that route, Asuka should have missed, gave him the Brad Maddox, and then the referee should have disqualified her. Sasha could have put up a big stink, and then on Monday night, Stephanie McMahon could have been like, okay, you get your rematch now. If that's what they wanted to do, they could have just did it that way. It made absolutely no sense for Bayley to put on the goddamn referee shirt and suddenly I'm an instant official and my 3 count actually counts by the timekeeper and the ring announcer.
I know what WWE was trying to do. They were trying to pop a rating for Monday Night Raw where inconclusive ending, so you tune in the next night to see what the actual result was. And let me check and see if that worked. Didn't work. Second worst Raw rating in history. So
I'm trying to figure out a way to say this and not sound creepy, but I thought it was hilarious that they used that particular referee because when Bayley took that referee's shirt off, that referee was buff as shit. It looked really, really odd. Like, they should have used, like, the little bitty black guy sticks, they should have used him, or maybe any of the other guys. They picked the buffest referee that they have.
There's a man like, God damn it.
A guy
gotta have a buff ref. He's kicking his shirt off.
The ref was bigger than Adam Cole, which we're going to get into talking about Adam Cole.
then I'm like, that's not how that works. You can't just like only in wrestling. Now, granted, well, anyway, you can't just put on a referee shirt and be a referee. It doesn't come with a license. It doesn't come with a referee license. How does that work?
Yeah. So, and then I guess we'll get into the let's get into the Dolph Ziggler match real quick with Drew McIntyre. What you guys think of that match?
Boring.
Oh, Mustafa.
Boring.
I like the stipulation actually. I actually like that Dolph Ziggler saying it's extreme for me, not for you. You can lose by DQ or count out. I thought that was pretty original, but just like Tru Element said, he should have said you can't beat me with the what's the name of his kick?
Claymore. Best Claymore he's ever delivered. That was out of they are really putting that move over strong. So that when he goes against Randy Orton, it's Claymore versus RKO from out of nowhere.
This is why I hate you, because I was just about to put that over, and now I can't because you beat me to it.
Stolen thunder.
Thanks, Tru Element. Appreciate you.
Shouldn't be so damn slow.
But yeah, that's going to go in history, probably right next to some of the RKOs that Randy Orton has given over his career.
Well, the greatest RKO he's ever delivered was the one at WrestleMania to Seth Rollins where he popped him up in the air.
Yeah, I have to agree with that.
That's probably the best one followed by the Shelton Benjamin one.
Shelton just jumped into his arms.
Oh, wait, no, not Shelton Benjamin. Sorry, that was the super kick.
Someone did a shooting star press and he caught him.
Yep, Evan Bourne.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah. So yeah,
but I don't want to see a rematch between these two.
Nah, I'm over them. They need to move on.
And then finally we get to the Bray Wyatt classic Bray Wyatt versus Braun Strowman in the Swamp match. I didn't understand what any of this was. It was set up poorly, filmed poorly. The most interesting part of it was Alexa Bliss being a part of it and taunting Braun Strowman, which again, I think he needs to take Alexa Bliss to HR, or she needs to take him to HR. That's how he's thinking about Alexa Bliss when he's off of those mushrooms.
Look,
he pretty much had a wet dream.
I'm officially done with WWE cinematic matches. This was the nail in the coffin. They were already teetering, in my opinion. And now, after seeing that load of crap, no more. If they're going to do a cinematic match from now on, I guarantee I'm not watching it. I'm going to take a nice hearty shit or something.
Here's what killed it for me, okay? So, yes, I get it. It's a cinematic match. But it's still a wrestling match. It's not a movie. There's no reason why Bray Wyatt should be beating up Bray Wyatt. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's way suspending disbeliefs.
No. The worst part, and I've heard other people bring this shit up, but when it happened, I tweeted it. So Bray Wyatt can turn off the swamp at night. All the lights just go out. It just goes pitch black.
Right, because there's just a switch there, on the tree. And then you just, like...
They turned off the moon.
If they would have not did the shit with the lights, if they would not have Bray Wyatt beat up Bray Wyatt, if they not have somebody that was supposed to be dressed as Luke Harper get beat up, if they didn't have a guy get set on fire, all just very... I don't even know how to word it.
Hold on. I didn't even realize that was supposed to be Luke Harper. All I know is that the Dark Order made their WWE debut. I'm like, oh my God, the Dark Order's invading the swamp match.
Oh, man. And then the dude getting caught on fire was just so cheesy. And then, like, if they would have cut all of it out, but they still did the stuff with the swamp turning red and the Fiend coming out, I would have brought it. Hook, line, and sinker. But they just did too much.
If they would have went more boneyard match and less Freddy versus Jason with the whole dream part where Braun just suddenly was tied up and Bray Wyatt's giving him a long-ass monologue and shit.
Wait a minute. He was tied up with the most loosest chain I've ever seen in my life. You could tell he could just pop his arms out of there. He wasn't really secured. I was like, they couldn't even like interwoven that under his arms, and
all they did was give him the chains that Mr. T left in the back of WrestleMania 3 and laid them across his arms. Like, hold on to these real quick.
The Hercules old chains.
I get it. WWE is running out of ideas. They're in the performance center.
I think they just sped through this. I don't think that they took the time and care with it as they did the other cinematic matches.
Was this a better option than just fucking Bray Wyatt versus Braun Strowman in the goddamn ring? Was this really a better option?
Well, this is what they do with Bray Wyatt now. Yeah, cinematic matches.
And all of them have sucked.
I like the John Cena one.
And you'd only won.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. But yeah, that was pretty much Extreme Rules, the horror show or whatever. It was horrible. But